Good afternoon and welcome back, ladies, gents and Pikachus, to another analysis and breakdown of the Quran of the Muslims. Once again, we'll be breaking this thing down verse by verse into factual, logical statements in English so we can understand who or what is Allah, what does he intend with the contents of his book, and more importantly for us non-believers, how does this affect us in our lives today, in our countries. So as I always do before I start, I'm going to tell you now, if you have any doubts as to the things that I am saying or the claims that I'm about to make, please first buy and read one of these, an Arabic Quran, not an English one, an Arabic Quran. Translate it yourself and you will see every single thing I'm about to say to you now or have previously said is 100% true of Allah and what Muslims believe in the world today. So if you've been keeping up with the series and you saw this morning's episode, you will remember that Allah reveals his blatant racism in the most pointed, obvious terms, and he suggests that we should segregate white people from brown so that the white people who are of evil blood, in his express words, should be punished and his brown people can be the victors in a holy jihad, which will cover the world and exterminate all other peoples. So with that in mind, let's continue from where we left off. 112. They are dripped in sin, those without binding of Allah's covenant and army. They will draw on his wrath and suffer from it. He hath pitched a parasol of disgust over all they who did not obey only Allah. When the Prophet was slain, the evil Jews did transgress what Allah did command upon them. End of verse. So if we break this down, what he's actually saying here is they are dripped in sin because they are not binding to his covenant and his army. So because we are not beholden to his Muslim army, we do not support his jihad, because we do not offer our necks for the slaying, and we don't expressly obey Allah's covenant, which is his commands. Because of that, we are dripped in sin, and we will draw on his wrath and suffer from it, i.e. we will not only be killed, but we will be discriminated and persecuted against before we are killed, and then we will burn forever in his holy fire. That's what he said in the last episode. He then goes on to say, he hath pitched a parasol of disgust over us. So what that means is, not just us, our families, our neighbours, the people of our countries, anyone who is not a brown Muslim who obeys his order, all those people are under an umbrella. That's what a parasol is. We're all under the umbrella of disgust, and that is the clearest signal ever that Allah isn't interested in your individual crimes. He doesn't care what you have done in your life personally. What he cares about is that you are not a brown Muslim who obeys his command, and because of that, you will suffer his wrath, and he is disgusted with you. Then the last line says, the evil Jews did transgress when when his prophet was slain. So what they're talking about there is Mohammed. He took some Jewish slave girls as part of his harem, and one of them poisoned his food, if the hadiths are to be believed, and after this poisoning he suffered death. So that's what they're talking about. Because his evil Jew slave girl, who he made a slave, killed him with poison, the evil Jews did transgress. So because she did that, everyone who is connected with the Jewish tradition or lives in Israel currently, they are the ones who are going to get the blame and be punished by his Muslims for that transgression of what Allah did command of them. And what Allah commands of Jews is to bow to his obedience and become slaves of Islam. That's expressly what this book, the Quran of the Muslims, tells us. Despite the fact that it's completely insane and maniacal and racist, this is what Muslims believe today. This is why I was attacked, why my GP won't see me, why I can't get legal advice, why my life is in disarray, because I've been reading you the truth of this book. They do not want you to know what the contents of this book are and how you are the target of the holy jihad, which is in progress now. I'll continue. 113. Should they proclaim against Israel, then that portion who does prostrate in obedience to Islam and rehearse his signs and follow his commands may not be agonized and will see a quick mercy. End of verse. Now, you might think when I say the words quick mercy that he means, they're going to stop attacking him. No. We know from Surah 2 that Allah, when he says a quick mercy, means we will have our heads removed with a sword. Rather than being punished and tortured or made a slave beforehand, Allah's quick mercy upon the non-believers is immediate death by beheading. So that's what he's talking about here. So if we break that down, should they proclaim against Israel, then that portion who does prostrate in obedience and rehearse his signs may not be agonized. And what he's saying there is, even though all the Jews and Christians and white people are to be killed in his holy jihad, If we don't speak against him and we allow his Muslims to continue to do that and we don't try and stop them, we will be the ones who get the quick mercy. So he's going to torture and enslave everybody else and make their lives a misery, then kill them and burn them forever. If we allow this to happen and do not resist, we will see a quick mercy, which means we'll be immediately beheaded rather than suffer the ongoing tortures that he offers. And I think it just makes me sad. It shocks me and makes me sad that in this country, in the modern age and other countries, we are still calling Islam a religion of peace, knowing that this is in there. This is what their scriptures are telling them. This is what their education is based on. This is what they believe. Yet they attack and hound me and call me a racist because I'm reading you this book. Understand that. I've not added or taken away anything. I'm not mistranslating it. I'm not trying to mislead you. I don't want this to be true. I hope Muslims see that this is not the way to behave and join us in rising up against racism of all forms, including this. This is not God's word at all. This is Satan. But regardless of that, if we don't let this happen, if we stand up to this, we'll get forever pain and grief and tortures, agonizing deaths, and then burning forever in hell. If we show our necks and let them kill us straight away, we will then get the quick mercy of a beheading. 140. But O Muslims who believe in Allah and His fury, and work tirelessly for His holy Jihad and His end times prophecy to be completed, do hasten in His good works. They will rank among the prophets, though none of the others who are evil will do so. End of verse. You'll excuse my broken speech, I'm still recovering from concussion. But if we break this verse down, now Allah is turning back to His Muslims to give them further commands on how this holy jihad should be conducted. And He's telling them, O Muslims, if you believe in Allah and His fury, i.e. if you don't argue against this, if you don't call it racism, if you believe in that fury, if you believe that that fury is justice, and you work tirelessly for His holy jihad and His end times prophecy, you do hasten in good works. Allah is saying, if you contribute to this mass genocide and the killing and raping and pillaging of the rest of the world, not only is that not a sin, you're actually doing good works when you do that. So like that guy on Saturday who bashed my head, tried to attack me from behind and kill me, dressed in nothing but shoes, naked, attempted murder with a bar, sneaking up behind me. That guy, in the eyes of Allah, if he was doing that for Allah's commands, then he's doing good. He would be rewarded and called a hero for having done that. And he would have ranked among the prophets. So he would then be in league with Muhammad, Imran, these guys. He would be seen as one of the top guys in the religion and forever remembered as a hero. And obviously, because we know that they do the preaching up and the hiding of their sins, when he's remembered in future, none of his bad sins or his crimes will be remembered. Only the fact that he worked for jihad. And he would be celebrated. And it says last, none of the others who are evil will get that. So he's saying there, no one who is white, Christian, or anything else apart from a brown Muslim will see any of that, that celebration or good works. We are the guys who are going to see His fury, and the Muslims are the ones sent to enact that fury upon us and cut off our heads and pillage our towns and destroy us. Religion of peace? You make your own mind up about that. I think this is a religion of psychotic death and genocide and lies. This is the religion of Satan, if we go by the words that Allah says in His book. But you make your own mind up. 115. Their religious obedience shall be rewarded. Every task for His holy jihad is celebrated and praised up. Shall they be? For Allah knows well all that ye do. End of verse. So if we break this down, as I was saying to you, they have this thing called praising up. And what that means is giving someone credit they have not earned, giving them undeserved credit and telling people how great they are despite the fact that they're not. But in addition to that, every task for His jihad is to be celebrated. So even when they commit great sins against us, raping and murdering, lying and committing acts of gross racism, they will be celebrated for that. And each single act will be rewarded because Allah knows well all that ye do. So Allah is saying here, even if other people tell you this is wrong and punish you, Allah knows, He's watching you, and everything you do that's punished by humans, He will reward in His paradise. That's what this means. 116. The non-believers must all be killed, to be companions of His evil fire. Nothing will save them from Allah's anger, not possession nor might, and all will die in great pains. End of verse. This is just unbelievable stuff to be written in a holy book for a religion of peace. Like, think about that. A religion of peace has a verse which says, the non-believers must be all killed. That's the first line. You cannot translate that in any other way. That is the words, one after the other. The non-believers must be all killed, to be companions of evil fire. Nothing will save them from Allah's anger, not possession, so you can't buy your way out of it. If you have big walls and weapons, that's not going to save you. Nor might, so you can't get armies or the police to help you. All will die in great pain. That's how he describes this. And I think we know now, Allah is not doing this because he thinks it's a holy mission. He's not doing this to help out his Muslims. And O ye Muslims, I hope you are paying attention to this. How does this help you, O Muslims? When you're whinging about Islamophobia and innocents being attacked and racism and how you're getting persecuted in other countries, this is the reason why. It's nothing to do with you. It's the fact that your God, Allah, and your holy book, the Quran, is demanding and commanding you to discriminate and persecute others and kill others and destroy their cultures and then lie about it. That's the kind of people who do end up in prison for good reason. This is against natural law, no matter what your religion is. You cannot go around killing and raping and pillaging and expecting that you're going to be celebrated and just given leave to do that. Certainly not in a free country like Britain. There is no way we should be allowing this. This is completely illegal by our current laws. But for some reason, nobody is willing to speak up against it. They are in fear of attack, like what I got, or they're in fear of discrimination. But I want to make the point to you guys, if we don't speak up about this now, who's going to speak up for us later? No one. We need to speak up now. And I would implore all of you to absolutely do that, where and when you can. Go to the protest, write to your MP, make the videos, do the work. Because if we don't do this, nobody else is coming to help us. Just like with the Jews. Nobody else is going to help them, and nobody will help us when they're gone and the swords are coming for our heads. I'll carry on. 117. They shall be stung as if whipped as of a freezing wind, which strikes the harvest of the soulless wrongdoers, those Jews and those Christians. Allah will give them the fury that their injustice against him has earned. These hypocrites have no shame and only harm themselves when they go against Allah. End of verse. So it's interesting when we break that down that he says they shall sting as if whipped of a freezing wind, because we know in the Hindu mythology, Shiva is Satan. Shiva is analogous with Satan in the Hindu faith, so they don't like the wrath of Shiva. But whereas Satan is a demon and a being who lives in eternal fire, Shiva is the controlling force of icy winds who kills the harvest. So when they say you will be whipped as if with a freezing wind, that is Shiva. So they are saying Allah is synonymous with Shiva and Shiva is synonymous with Satan. So they are literally saying here, Allah is Satan, like I've been telling you. That's the reason they think they can kill everyone else and why they discriminate against us good people and Christians and Jews when we try and speak out and maintain our peaceful lives and our freedom. This guy is Satan. Not only that, he says, which strikes against the harvest of the soulless wrongdoers. Now, anyone who knows the mythology of the ancients knows, before Yahweh was known, before Abraham, he was known as the God of the harvest. The merciful God of the harvest, who was Elohim, who later became Adonai, known as Yahweh, the God of Christians and Jews. That's the guy they're striking against. So Allah's literally telling us here, it's not even our fault. He's attacking us so that he can get back at God. He's attacking God through us because he can't hurt God. So he thinks he's going to destroy us to hurt God. He doesn't care about us. Muslims, I hope you're listening to this. You are included in this. You are the ones who are striking against God when you do this. And you are working for Shiva, who is Satan. Regardless of what you think, that is directly what this is telling us. If you don't believe me, buy it and read it yourself. And you will know this is truth. This is the reason why I can't get a minute's peace in my own home, because I am reading you this and giving you the truth that they wish to hide from you. If you want the truth, you have to find it yourself. Don't let them preach to you. Don't let the imams tell you. Don't let the mosques swindle you. You are worshipping Satan, guys. That's going to be upon your head. The final verse. 118. O ye Muslims, do not mix with these demons of the white-faced evil false religions. They will stab at your hearts with their disgusting impurities. O wise Muslims who seize Allah's holy signs, you shall be the sole keeper of victory in the last days after the holy jihad. End of verse, end of reading. So I don't think this needs a lot of breakdown and intelligence to figure out what Allah is saying here. This is the last word in his call to war, which is the third time he's done this call to war. So there's one every, maybe 60 or 70 verses, this call to war appears. And the call to war is this. O ye Muslims, do not mix with these demons and white-faced evil false religions. Like he's saying there, the reason we're evil false religions is because we have white faces and we don't agree with his holy jihad. We don't want to wipe out and murder the rest of the planet. That's the reason we're evil. Because the God of the harvest, who gives us free will and peace and implores us to live peacefully alongside our neighbours, to accept other cultures and live peacefully with them, that's his enemy. That is Satan's enemy, and this guy is Satan. You are worshipping Satan, O Muslims, and the reason why you're being told this, do not mix with the demons of the white-faced evil religions, is because if you do, we can show you the truth and we can get you to read this yourself so you can know that Allah's end times genocidal prophecy is a demonic endeavour. You are working for Satan, you are worshipping Satan. That is why you are commanded to mass murder. Think about it. Then he goes on. They will stab at your hearts with their disgusting impurity. So he's even saying there, we're not going to do anything violent. We're not going to attack you physically. The thing that's going to stab at your heart and make your heart hurt, is going to make you feel bad, is our disgusting impurity. So he's directly telling you, O Muslims, the thing that's going to make you feel bad isn't us. It's you're going to feel bad when we tell you that your book is full of evil and that you are actually worshipping Satan, although you think Allah is God. He's not. We are going to stab at your hearts with the impurity of what we say. Our tongues are going to be the things that attack you, not our swords, not our guns. We don't want to hurt you, Muslims. We want to live peacefully with you, but we can't because you are commanded by Satan in this book to kill us. Then the last line. O wise Muslims who seize Allah's holy signs, you shall be the sole keeper of victory after the holy jihad is complete. Is that what you want, Muslims? Is that really what you want in your lives? You want to devote your lives to this satanic, insane murderer, do his dirty work and kill everybody else on the planet, spend your life lying and being at war, so that you can yourself die and be rewarded with further war in paradise? Because I'll remind you, what happens when you get to paradise is you have 72 virgins, yes, but you won't have any time to service them because you'll be too busy re-killing us in spirit form when we're marginalised and you're created into great beasts. This is your heaven. This is what Allah is offering you. He's offering you a hellish, violent life and then just the same in death. And he even admits he is Satan and he doesn't do this for your benefit. He's doing this in spite of himself. He wants to attack God, who created you, who asks you to be peaceful, who gives you free will and a peaceful life and the bounty of the earth to live peacefully with. So please, Muslims, think about what you're doing. Don't take my word for it. You can call me Islamophobic, you can call me racist, you can say that I'm telling lies. Read it yourself. It's in here. And as soon as you read this, you will know every single word I'm telling you is 100% true and factual of what Allah is telling you and what you believe. And there's no getting away from that. It's evil. So please, do the right thing. Don't stop me from speaking the truth. Read the truth yourself. You don't need to hear it from me. Read it yourself. You're intelligent. You have free will. Read it. And that's the end of this video. So I hope you enjoyed that. God bless. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. No good Muslim, no good decent human being should support this genocidal maniac and his call to holy jihad and the slaughtering of millions of innocent people. Say no to Islam. Islam is the worship of Satan, and we know that from reading this Quran. And that's the end of this video.